Well guys, I think this is as good an area as any. Looking at these two trees to hang out the hammock. Just got a little bit of junk underneath it. We'll probably find a different spot, but this general area I think is going to be more than acceptable for a nice overnighter. Maybe we'll look at those trees over there. Alright, I think these two trees are going to work really well for tonight's hammock camp. So we're going to ditch the amazingly poorly packed backpack here and start unloading. This is a totally impromptu camp where I am testing gear, so this is not a proper loadout. I literally threw this together in about an hour after getting a photography job done. So yeah, definitely not the best planned out, definitely not the best laid out, but you know what, you can make it work. We're gonna have fun, and it's never bad to spend a night in the woods. Okay, so first things first, got to get out some necessary equipment here. Just like I said, random stuff thrown in here, tourniquet, stuff like that. We're going to cook dinner tonight on the solo stove, which I haven't actually gotten to really put into use. We're going to camp out in my trustworthy Trucklight hammock. Get my hanging kit and supplies out here. Got, let's see, got my brand new Trucklight V9 Strong Tarp we got to try out, and my Snug Pack hammock under blanket. It's an under quilt from Snug Pack. It's ridiculously affordable. I do have my Big Agnes 20-degree bag packed in here just in case the under blanket is not enough. I also have my Super Survival Essentials kit that I built for my get home bag. So lots of good stuff in there. Use a little bit of that. Got filming gear, all sorts of stuff. My ham radio, of course. But yeah, we're gonna get the hammock strung up and kind of make camp a little bit, and then I will get to some cooking, and we got some good food coming. Done a lot of trips on my Trucklight. This is, gosh, I've had this since 08, 09, and it's been a rock solid hammock. Quick and easy to set up. Just got to get it on the right rung. Try that. It's pretty good. Just need to raise this up a little bit. I actually could have picked a pair of trees that were a little bit farther apart. Yeah, that'll work nicely. One of the things you always want to check whenever you're doing hammock camping is you want your hammock to look like a banana. So don't pull it completely taut. I used to do that. That really reduced the comfort levels an awful lot. So, nice banana hammock. No. Strike that one from the record. You want your hammock to hang nicely. Let's just go with that. Okay. Alright, so I got my ridge line set up here. Just got a taut line hitch on this end, following it level right over to a bowline. Alright, it's time to check out this tarp. Well, it's black and it's gray on the other side. That's kind of cool. This is a pretty heavy duty tarp. It's not like some wimpy little nice little tarp. Of course, that being said, it also weighs like 10 times as much as a sil nylon tarp. So good coverage though. Has its own stuff sack. You can tell it's heavy by how it's weighing down the ridge line. So we're gonna have to tighten that up a little bit. So one of my old systems before this tarp that I used to getting tarp tension was develop these little mini prussics. They were easy to throw on the line. I just had some spare line. And when I was using regular style tarps, I could just take this extra piece of paracord here and just tie it to it, and I could run my prussics out. I'm used to, honestly, I'm used to having my trees much further apart. So I'm actually just using these mini prussics and using a square knot to keep my tarp taut. That's one taut tarp. Just using my figure nines from Night Eyes. I've had these things for forever. I don't know if they still make the aluminum ones, but these things are just, they're quick. Can you do it with a prussic? Yeah. But you can also do it with one of these and it's easy. I start getting knots in the end of my paracord. Crank that down nice and taut. Okay, so I'm kind of breaking the 180-degree rule of filmmaking, which means that everything you guys have seen up until this point has been shot over there, looking that way. Well, the way the trees worked out here is actually works out perfect for tying off my tarp. And I've got a really nice tension. It could be a little bit, could change it up a little bit around here. But overall, I've got a really nice area to kind of hunker down in. You know, it's not as good a view. I'm looking into more trees, but you know, that's a pretty view. But this will work. This will definitely work. Got my little storage pouch. Yeah, now it's time to get the underquilt hung up. Alright, I'm sorry about the light in here, guys. 8:35 in the evening, so it's just starting to get dark. That's what happens around here. So, still haven't made dinner. It's going to be a real late dinner, but, you know, a few trials and tribulations, of course, with getting camp set up, especially with all the new equipment. I'm sure, absolutely sure, that this underquilt's going to be the exact same way. So, looks like I've got 2 sets of shock cord here that are just kind of loose. There's a piece here. I guess that's the other side. I'm guessing that these main double pieces right here, if I can find that other one again, I'm guessing that's probably supposed to go somewhere. Let's just try kind of looping that there. One of the things I know about underquilts is that you're not supposed to have tension on them. They're not supposed to be load bearing. You know, they have a shock cord so you can move around and be comfortable and stuff like that. But these are in no way supposed to be load bearing. Okay, that tells me I've got this shock cord way too tight. Let's go ahead and move this all the way out to the end. See what happens? I'm almost completely out of daylight. This video is probably not going to look so grand, but I think I've got this hammock quilt figured out. Just gotta test it out. Alright guys, with the fact that I've had some trials and tribulations with the new hammock quilt, and that it is, for all intents and purposes, especially filming purposes, completely full dark. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use the alcohol burner in my solo stove to cook tonight's dinner. Looks like there's I'll add a little bit more. Yeah, we're going to test this out. Okay, Nightcore for the win here. Simply because I've used one of my GoPro mounts and was able to okay, alcohol stove is going. But yeah, I was able to use my GoPro mount to actually attach it to my tripod. So we have light, and we have full bore, full blast solo stove here. Awesome. Yeah guys, this is definitely not like hardcore bushcrafty stuff. This is me being definitely not a bushcrafter. I got some ghee here. I'm sure I've gone over that stuff with you guys before. If you're new to the channel and don't know what ghee is, well, it's pretty awesome stuff. I found my spatula here. Basically, ghee is just like super clarified butter. And I like it better than butter just think it cooks better. So take a little ghee, scrape it out into the pan, get that in there. Yeah, this pan pretty much sucks. This is something I have for for car camping, not for backpacking, because I don't actually have a good stainless backpacking fry pan. So I'm going to have to use my cup as a pan rest here for just a second. What have I got going on for dinner? Now, the wife was totally awesome and made me some burgers. Since we're so handle heavy here, I have to like put my leg under that or something. And now we can start to hear it. Yeah, there we go. Oh hey, now we have balance. Now we have balance on the solo stove. This is, folks, the first time cooking on the solo stove, so I'm pretty excited about that. All right, now we're getting after it. Tell you what, the solo stove has like one speed, and that's like hot and high. I'm getting some spatter here, so I'm actually gonna have to take that off for a second. Yeah, I got grease spatter, and I don't need the greasing up all of my stuff here. That's pretty good. Pretty good grease spatter. It's alright, it's all good. Boy, look at those. Alright, I think these are done. Let's go ahead and toss one out here on the plate. See, I guess we can just go ahead and toss both of them over here on the plate. Oh yeah, that looks delicious. I think it's time to shut down the stove and eat some dinner. Go put this pan on my log. It's time to go ahead and extinguish the solo stove. So, just going to grab my little alcohol burner cap here. And just very carefully going to snuff it out. Alright, it's snuffed. We're going to leave that for a little while. It's bound to be super hot. So, go let the whole thing cool down, and let's move on to what else is for dinner. Alright, so it's dinner. Got myself here a mini cucumber and some baby carrots. Overall, I'd say pretty good meal. Time to dive into this burger. Whoop. Got a twig on it. You know, and honestly, this was a really frustrating trip to take. I'm right in between getting my get home bags put together. Like, I'm transferring from my Falconer 27 to my Falconer 30, so all my kit's messed up. I didn't have all my backpacking stuff done. No. So, original thought was a quick overnighter and just come up, set up a quick camp, cook some dinner, hang out. I was like, oh, I need to test all this new stuff I've got. I haven't actually used this. It's finally warm enough for the right conditions, or I have time. All the stars lined up. And that's, I think, what screwed me. Because I got so wrapped up in getting everything ready, I ended up using my new Osprey pack. Ended up, you know, not using my Falconer 27, which I need to get set up. Ended up with an amalgamation of my old backpacking, camping equipment, and my get home bag stuff. So it was frustrating. It was tough. I got up here hours later than I wanted to, which kind of stunk, which is why I'm eating in the dark. I mean, that's really the only reason I'm eating in the dark, guys. Another use for a solo stove. Mini improvised fire. Not using it for cooking, not using it for warmth, just using it for light and enjoyment. You know, I don't know what it is about fire that makes a camping trip complete. But it is the best thing. It's that one thing that, even if you have a terrible camping trip, and I've had some bad ones, I've had some great ones, fire is always one of the things you remember. And I tell you what, having this little solo stove, being able to have a pretty safe little fire is pretty awesome. I like it. Now, the wood gasification aspect of the solo stove, I think is just totally awesome. It's actually getting a dual burn, and I can see like all the extra gases burning off. So I have a very hot, very clean burning, like smokeless fire right now. I mean, there's so little smoke, it's not even funny. And I'm just feeding it little pieces of twigs every now and then. Don't really need this. It's just nice. I'm gonna go to bed soon, so I don't need a huge, raging, crazy fire. So I've definitely got some refining to do with my micro adventure kit, because yeah, today's showing was not good. I need to get something set up, worked out, to where if I feel like, hey, I need to go spend the night in the woods, I can just grab a pack and go. And today was not one of those days. Today's was a day where I just didn't have anything working right, it seemed. But overall, it's not too shabby. It ended well. Had an excellent dinner. Hopefully I'll have an excellent breakfast. Got a nice little solo stove fire going here. It's good times. It's nice just to be out in the woods. Enjoy it. Gonna do this a lot more often. Just over here on Muddy Mountain, it's so close to town, it's stupid. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, about 45 minutes. You gotta go over Casper Mountain, then down Casper Mountain, then up Muddy Mountain. And here I am. And I tell you what, I think there's a lot more to explore out here than I have even barely begun to scratch the surface of. Like, barely scratch the surface. There's actually a lot of BLM out here. And the BLM's nice because you can pretty much do whatever you want on it. You can camp, you can bushcraft, you can hunt, hike, shoot, fish. I mean, it's public land. Everybody's the owner of it. Everybody can come out and use it as long as they use it responsibly. Got myself a little bit right there. But BLM is I feel bad for places that don't have a lot of it, and there's a lot more out here than I even thought. Because like in Texas, there's hardly any public land to speak of. State parks and stuff, but not just public land, do what you want. Alright guys, I think it's time to let this die down and go ahead and hit the hay. See you in the morning. Good morning guys. It's about 6 a.m. so a little bit late getting up here. I actually woke up at 4 and was like, nope. So I kind of snoozed it until 5:30-ish and kicked around for a few minutes. Just kind of hung out in the hammock. Now it's 6 and it's time to get cooking breakfast and then time to get back into town since I've got stuff to do today. Told the wife I'd be home by 9. I figured that was a good time. But time to cook some breakfast. Last night it got a lot colder than I expected. I was testing out my underquilt from Snugpak, and after some setup issues and some, just overall not really knowing how to use it quite right and getting it set up issues, it works pretty well. I slept from like 10 to midnight, and midnight I got up because it was just too cold. The cloud cover had burned off, or moved off, blown off, not burned off. And it had a big old moon shine at me, so that was pretty cool. I actually got to see some stuff around at night when it was dark and with the moonlight. And I went ahead and grabbed my 20-degree bag out of my pack, threw that in the hammock here, crawled back in, snug as a bug and rug, got my poofy jacket. And this is camp, how it ended up. Now you can actually see it in the daylight. Got my Versatrek hanging up to hold all my gear off the ground. Got my hammock, my underquilt, my tarp. A lot of guy lines going around here, but it's fairly well organized. Yeah, I'd say it's time for some breakfast. Alright, so we're actually running the solo stove as a wood gas stove this morning for cooking breakfast. I am really impressed with this little stove. Really enjoyed using it last night. Kind of stoke it up here a little bit. The thing definitely works. And it works as advertised. So let's see what we got for breakfast. Trash bag out. Mess kit bag out. We are going to have, this is spinach and broccoli. I know that doesn't sound real exciting yet, but we got eggs. And in my absolute and total brilliance this morning, or not this morning, but last night, yesterday afternoon when I was getting ready for all this, remember to bring my pour over coffee maker. Forgot to bring my coffee and my filters. So no coffee for me this morning until I get home. It's a bit of a bummer, but well, that's what happens when you're in a rush. I got my salt and pepper, got my pan, got my ghee. What I do now is get into my cookware here. Plate's a little mucky, but I'm just not going to be too terribly concerned about that. Grab some more ghee here. Since ghee is essentially just fat with all the milk solids or the butter taken out, it solidifies quite impressively when it gets cold. When it starts smoking, that's when you know that it's no longer has enough fuel to be full wood gas and actually burn the gases that the wood's putting off. So we're just going to stoke this back up a little bit. Easy to do. All right. Go ahead and dump all our veggies in the pan here. We're just going to pan scramble these eggs. This is one hungry little stove. You got to keep it fed. It does not like going hungry. Got my little egg tainer here. Doesn't matter if these eggs break, if the yolks break on the pan. This everything's going to be scrambled anyway. Yeah, so less than optimal, but I'm making it work. We'll see if it truly does work and if I actually get breakfast or if I just have a messy pile of eggs. The thing that worries me is the plastic handle on this thing. This pan is just a cheap little pan. It's meant for, you know, gas stoves. So I definitely got a lot to do in the way of optimizing my
my cooking and camping solutions here. You know, it's always a process. Get some more fuel in that stove. I like the wood burning function of the solo stove. Man, I really like that alcohol stove too. I think that's why this is such a cool setup. It's a little versatile, right? So I can run my alcohol stove if I want a clean, easy cleanup, fast, hot, you know, burning cooking fire, right? But you have the ability to run it as a wood gas stove, and it's a little more intensive as a wood gas stove, that's for sure. Look at those eggs. That looks delicious. Yum, yum. Have a bite. Alright guys, so get some salt, get some pepper. Just getting it right out of the pan.
Okay, so this is kind of funny. The entire time I'm concerned about running out of battery in my cameras, and I ran out of memory card space. So now we're shooting on the GoPro. So thank goodness I carry my Hero 5 Black with me around. So I've got the GoPro, and yeah, we're just gonna have to finish this story with the GoPro. But breakfast was good. I think it's time to break camp and head back into town. It is now 7 o'clock. I have to be home by 9. So we're letting the solo stove cool. That'll be the last thing we pack. But it's time to break camp. I think it's time for a time lapse. Okay guys, that is it for the day's adventure. I'm all packed up. Camp's broken, solo stove's packed up. Everything is clean. You can't tell that I was here. Packed out all the trash. It's a good morning. It is about 7:45, so about 45 minutes of casually breaking camp. So it's time to throw on the pack, head back to the car, head back to town, head back to reality. But I want to thank you guys for joining me today in my first overnighter of the season. It's still a little chilly up here in the mountains, but it was good. It was definitely good. My negative 15 or my positive 15 bag definitely did its job, and I was comfortable for most of the night. You know, midnight to 5, I guess. But yeah. Sorry I had to finish this on the GoPro. Next time I'll bring more memory cards. I haven't really done anything like this in a while, so yeah, I think I'll let the camera run for a little bit too long sometimes. But good times, definitely good times. Lots of work to be done on this setup. It takes too long to get this setup going, so I'm going to work on some different shelter setups, some different camping setups. I'm going to make a dedicated micro-adventure bag, which is something that I'll be able to just grab and go, throw food in, and go out on an overnighter and be comfortable and secure. So that's the plan. And I will be doing videos on that as I figure it out. So, thanks again for joining me. Hopefully you guys have found this video entertaining and or educational. I don't really know if it's either, but here's to hoping. So, if you want to support TGO Wyoming, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. If you like this video, click a thumbs down button if you didn't like this video. And of course, you can also help me out by subscribing. If you are a subscriber, thanks for being a subscriber. If you're not yet a subscriber, consider subscribing. It's pretty fun. I do new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. At least I try to, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But yeah, I think that's it. You guys can check out tgowyoming.com. If you do any shopping on Amazon, use my click-through link. It helps keep things running, helps pay for gas to get up here. Speaking of which, I need to go put fuel in the Land Cruiser, like, muy pronto. Okay, so I better get moving. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, stay safe, shoot straight, and I'll see you next time.